I'm Ron Stockton. I'm a professor of political science at the University of Michigan Dearborn, and I'm 71 years old. I'll be 72 next month. I don't think of retiring. Everyone knows a career ends because you get too old to do it. But right now I feel vigorous, I'm energetic, my students still respond to my classes, I still enjoy what I'm doing. I don't need the money, I'm doing it because it's rewarding for me and I think I'm doing good for my students.
I took Revolutions with Dr. Stockton, and he not only had us read material regarding the riots, we also heard the story about where he was during the Detroit riots.
Without being immodest, I think I do things that wouldn't be done if I weren't here.
And I love his quirkiness. He always shares these little quirky stories with us and it actually helps us learn. So he has this original, fun way of learning.
Living in Detroit, where there's a very large and old Muslim population, I got interested a few years ago in Muslim graves. For me, graveyards are a place where you go, where you learn about your history, you discover the tragedies of life. This is a young man. He died when he was 21, and this one's all in Arabic, except for down here. Let's see what this says. This is the person's name in English, Yahya Hossein Madawi. And look at this, he didn't live very long, 33 years old. We in Detroit have an old Bosnian Muslim population. This is a very Bosnian style. So I've organized a class on graveyards. Students just flock into this class, they love it. If I didn't think I could relate to them, I would quit.
How much he knows about, my culture and my religion, it was very surprising to me, and I think it's definitely an advantage that he is older.
I've always said that I will know it's time to retire when I tell a joke in class and it doesn't work, because I know I'm losing my class. A couple years ago, I remember I was talking and I said something about, if he liked it, he should have put a ring on it. And they all started laughing, like, how is this professor? How does he know this song?
I think he's about as hip as you can be. Yeah.
Each generation has its own, inner culture. And the thought that someone like me knows it, I don't really know it, but I fake it once in a while. Plus, I know a lot, and I know things about them and their history and their culture and their own background that they don't know, so they learn from me, which makes me feel good about what I'm doing.
I've always thought I grew up as a Pakistani Muslim girl. After talking to Professor Stockton about exactly where my family's from, he surprised me. He said, "You're not Pakistani, you're Afghani." And I thought, oh, okay. And so I went back and talked to my grandfather, and it opened up so many conversations, and they said, well, technically, yeah, your professor's right. Our family's ancestors are Afghani. And so I thought, wow, I learned more than just religion and politics that semester.
I defined myself as a professor. That's what I do. And if I were an ex-professor, I don't even know what that means. I don't want to sit around with a bunch of old people like me talking about their arthritis, that sounds terrible. But the real thing is the classroom. If I ever felt that I was not doing a top job, I would just quit. I'm not going to abuse my students in order to promote my own vanity.
And I'm glad that he didn't retire, because that's a wealth of knowledge. Nobody has it.
Oh, here, look at this. There it is. All it says is Leo Franklin, beloved husband of Hattie. What a modest man, He's the most famous rabbi in all of North America, and all his stone says was, I had a great wife. This is kind of a lesson we learn in a graveyard, that we may be the most famous person in the country at one time, but 50 years later, nobody is going to bother to clean off our stone except some obscure professor who happens to admire us.